أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فقلت واستغفروا ربكم إنه كان غفارا and said, ask forgiveness from your Lord. Indeed, Allah is a perpetual forgiver. They say this ayat of Surah Nuh alayhi salam, when Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib salawatullah alayhi, and in his presence were Ibn Abbas, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with him, the cousin of Amir al-Mu'mineen. They say when people came over to Amir al-Mu'mineen and they sought assistance from him, because at that time there was a drought and the vegetation didn't grow and the times were difficult. So every person or every group that was coming up to Amir al-Mu'mineen salawatullah alayhi, Amir al-Mu'mineen was saying to him, say astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. When Ibn Abbas noticed this, he said, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, how come you're giving every person astaghfirullah rabbi wa atubu alayhi? How come you're asking to forgiveness, asking them to seek forgiveness? He says, Ya Abbas, haven't you read the Quran? فَقُلْتُ أَسْتَغْفِرُوا رَبَّكُمْ إِنَّهُ كَانَ غَفَارًا, the ayat of Surah Nuh. Ibn Abbas said, of course I have, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen. He said, forgiveness is a way out of everything. Forgiveness makes a human humble. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to ask forgiveness in the sincerest way so we can be humble and become of those who, when we become humble, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enters that heart which is humble. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to seek forgiveness from Him in a day and a day and day and day out. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam gave an example of Islam. He says, Kullu shay'in Islam wal is Kullu shay'in asas wa Islam. وَخُبَّنَا عَلَى الْبَيْتِ عَلَى Islam. Everything has a feeling, and that feeling is Islam and the love of the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. Mawaddat al-fal qurba means that shadid, that strong love for Ahlul Bayt salawatullah alayhi is important in our lives. Mukhlasina al-khaddeen, being mukhlis is important. When we seek forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, many doors open for us and we become humble. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will judge every person according to their intellect. Whoever possesses higher intellect will be judged according to his intellect. Whoever possesses lower intellect will be judged towards his lower level of intellect. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to become closer to Him. These nights of grievance, these nights of sorrow, these nights of agony for the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam are one of those nights that we should seek closeness to the reality. The light of Aba Abdullah salawatullah alayhi will shine on us if we, I and you, are willing to seek forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ibrahim alayhi salam returned diamond always to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When he was thrown into the fire, Bardan salam ala Ibrahim, half of the ayat that I've quoted. Jibreel alayhi salam came down for the assistance, but he refused. Same thing Imam Hussain alayhi salam refused the help of any other person except from the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The help alone of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala he seeked, and that help came from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Today we see the name of Aba Abdullah Swatullah is remembered everywhere, in every corner of the world, and every person remembers it. If you look in the Christian community, they will remember it. If you look in the Hindus, if you look at any other community, you would see the name of Aba Abdullah Swatullah alayhi remembered. Remembrance reminds our soul. That's why we read in Surah Yusuf alayhi salam, لَقَدْ كَانَ فِي قَصَاصِهِمْ إِبْرَةً لِأُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes us want to remind us of the stories of the past. Like Yusuf alayhi salam's story. If you recall that, his brothers turned to repentance and seeked forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then they were forgiven. Isa alayhi salam, in his famous quote, says, Innal hikmata nurun kulli qalbin, that verify wisdom is a light of every heart. A beautiful saying from Isa alayhi salam. Today we just want an overall view of the martyrdom of Khur ibn Rakhai. Khur, who stopped Imam Hussain Salatullah alayhi once entering Kufa. But Khur was someone who asked forgiveness purely and surely. Khur was he who had the love for Fatima Zahra Swatullah in his heart. They say when he came over to Aba Abdullah on his house, Ija'al al-Hussein al-Khisan, he was on the house, Hussein told him to come down from his house. He says to Hussein, Halaka ila tawbati, will you accept my repentance? Hussein said, yes, Bale. He said, okay. After this, if you see, Khur went out bravely. He fought these vicious people who had no religion. He fought them, tiring himself out. They say a man on the name of Ayyubi Masari, a man who killed Khur with another person from Kufa, another horseman. They say the companions, when they went to go and pick up the body of Khur, they brought him back to the camp. They say Khur was bleeding from his forehead and his ears. His eyes were open. He was still a bit alive. He said, Khal anta sa'idi ma ta'arifu. He said, are you pleased with me now, Ya Aba Abdullah? Imam Hussain says, Bale, yes I am. He says, أنت خرمص ولدتك التي سمعت لقى رجلا خرفي هذا الدنيا والدنيا بعد. You are khur, free, like your mom said, named you khur, and you are free in this life and the life after. Ya Aba Abdullah. The Mazlumat of Aba Abdullah goes on beyond this. He goes and picks every companion one after the other. أولٍ ظلموا لعن الله أولٍ ظلما بحق محمد وآل محمد سيعلم الذي ظلموا أي يوم منقلب ينقلبون.